Good afternoon, vinyl community. This is DJ Reed with another episode of The Beatles in the 1960s, and this features records, vinyl records I'm going to show this afternoon on the Beatles during the 1963 Beatlemania years. This is they shot off like a rocket to fame, as we know, and they got on the BBC playing their songs. So here's a BBC sessions, 1963, the Beatles, BBC. That's red and black label. Beautiful record. And there's the cover. And that's available on Cornbread Records. And this Cornbread Records, as you can see, does phenomenal records. The next one is The Beatles 30 Weeks, 1963, on 180 gram vinyl. And a lot of it's different live takes, from Paris, France. Is a good show from Paris, France. But they spent a lot of their time on the road. And it's on the DOL label. Again, it's one of my favorite records. Another record I have is an older record, and it's on VJ. This is before Capitol Records. This is an American distributor called VJ, and look at the amazing record they did for the Beatles. See the painting and the Polaroid look of the Beatles. You could get that kind of card on the bubblegum cards. And see on the back, you could actually place, the teenage girls could actually place their picture below one of the Beatles' faces. And they could put their own photo, probably a lot of photos below Paul was very popular, Ringo, or John Lennon, or George Harrison. But that's quite a record. And that's VJ. That's their first recordings they did. And one of the great songs from this album is, of course, I Saw Her Standing There. It's still, the song I Saw Her Standing There is still one of the top songs after all these years. People still remember that song to be a stellar song. And introducing the Beatles on VJ, there's another pressing. I can get it up right here. What a great record. You see it's in mint condition. I didn't pay a lot of money for this, but it's in beautiful, it's just in great condition. It's like brand new. And I try to keep it brand new by putting it in the sleeves, keeping it from getting scratched. I don't have a cleaning machine, but you can get a cleaning machine to keep them clean. I just wash them in dish soap and water if I have to. There's the introducing the Beatles album. It's just a stellar photo of them as young lads. And look at the big print they put. You can read them a mile away. I saw her standing there. Misery, Anna, James, boys, love me do. P.S. I love you. Baby, it's you. Do you want to know a secret? A taste of honey, there's a place. And of course, Twist and Shout. Of course, Twist and Shout would be the main song. But I saw her standing there. The beginning song and the end song are kind of still the most famous, but they're all great. They did them almost live takes. There were a few takes to get out the rust. They didn't have a lot of rust, but they did a couple of practice sessions. But most of they did it within, I believe it was in the 24-hour day. They got it done. And John's voice was in poor condition when they finished the final song, Twist and Shout. He could hardly sing. And his voice is very scratchy on Twist and Shout. Turns out to be one of his best tracks he's ever in his career. Here's the Please Please Me album, which is the most famous on the Parlophone. They were signed by Parlophone in 1962. And by 1963, they had a #1 album. Their first album went to #1. Beatlemania was just beginning. There's the photo. It's a famous photo. And the songs and the write-up. And everyone knew George Harrison, lead guitar, John Lennon, rhythm guitar, Paul McCartney, bass guitar, Ringo Starr, drums. And that was listed on a few of the early albums to let people, the Beatle fans, know what person played what instrument. And they did it very clearly to let people know, because of the frenzy. People, they knew they were a group, but they didn't know what instruments they actually played, and tried to individualize each person. And finally the fans begin to understand who the Beatles were and what instruments they played. Now this next one is a Please Please Me pressing, and it's on my favorite, colored vinyl. Isn't that beautiful? Colored vinyl. Here's the Please Please Me 45, and that's a Japanese pressing on Apple Records. The flip side, Ask Me Why. One of John's beautiful love ballads from the Please Please Me album. On Apple, Toshiba, Japan. Japanese pressing. There's the Japanese writing on Apple Records. Here's their most famous song. Some people have it at #1 of all time. I've got it at #10. And it's She Loves You on Parlophone. See if we can get a good clear picture of that. And of course Parlophone signed them right from the get-go before they became famous. And we know She Loves You is very important because it was the best-selling single in the Beatles' career. Nothing tops She Loves You. Here's a cover. As I mentioned, see how they listed the Beatles by name: George Harrison, Paul McCartney, John Lennon, Ringo Starr, and they got their names right on the card, right on the singles card. This is the original sleeve from the country of. It's hard to read the writing there. What do you think country that is? That's the country of Greece. That's a Greece pressing on Parlophone. The biggest selling single of the Beatles' career, She Loves You. Here's my copy when I went downtown Paris to buy it at Molloy's record store, downtown Paris in 1963. This is what was in the rack. She Loves You on the Capitol Records. It's kind of faded, isn't it? Good thing I haven't faded like the record. And this copy is a DJ copy. Just like my name, DJ Reed. I have a DJ copy of She Loves You on red vinyl. Red vinyl, translucent vinyl. And the flip side is another great Beatle track, I'll Get You. I'll get you in the end, my friend. This copy is another beautiful copy I got of She Loves You. This is Parlophone too. A beautiful Parlophone label. It's a treasure. I'll Get You. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you later. I think the next show will probably be 1964. We're just going to progress year by year. So I hope you enjoyed the program. Take care for now. Hope you enjoyed the show. Peace and love. God bless. Take care.